Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Loki Episode 2. And it pretty much starts things off with Loki already part of the TVA. Looks like he's already working, he has a nice suit and everything, and he's, learning everything from Miss Minutes, I guess you would say. So, they're having a little banter, he's talking with her, and they get called up, for the next mission. So then, the whole group starts planning the next move, they kind of like do a little briefing, and they say Loki's the best chance to capture the other Loki. So it's definitely excited to see that they're actually kind of using him, to help in a way. But Loki's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna change my ways. I'm here to help. I'm obviously better than him, so I'll help you track him down. So obviously they get into the location. It's like I didn't catch if it was like back in the if it was like an older time, if it was like a role play kind of thing, because there was this one lady who had a regular reaction to the timekeepers, and and if I remember correctly, I think it was a role play kind of thing. Like she was all like, "Oh guys, come on, stay in character" or something like that. But I could be wrong. I watched the episode, this morning, so I can't remember exactly what happened. But they go into the tent. They see that the fake Loki attacked another squad. That's actually how this episode started off. Loki, the evil Loki, I guess, started attacking a group of the TVA. Along with copyrighted music and everything. I mean, Marvel really likes that song. I mean, I feel like they've either used it a lot, like in different movies, or maybe it's just me because they did use it in the recent Guardians of the Galaxy trailer for the video game. But I digress. So Loki is actually stalling for time, right? And it looks like, either he doesn't want them to capture the other Loki, or, something. I mean, at first I thought he was onto something like, oh, what I would do is I would lure you guys out, for a trap. But no, it looks like he legit was just lying in the end and kind of just wanted to give the Loki more time to escape, which I don't know why. But I mean, after that, they kind of have, they start not trusting him, like, oh, he's already betraying us and all this stuff. So, Mobius and the other girl, the judge, they kind of start talking, and they're kind of like, oh, I don't know what we're going to do with him. He's going to keep betraying us. But Mobius is like, no, give me just one more chance. I can do this. So, they gave Loki another chance. Now he has to prove himself. And so he gets tasked with kind of like finding out, I guess, what he should do to pretty much, win their trust again. So then eventually that just leads to Loki kind of like, searching for the answers. He goes through different books and stuff, or at least whatever is available to him. He asks for more than he's able to kind of learn about, because everything's classified, but they give him pretty much the file on himself, and so he kind of looks through his life and whatever. And then that's when Loki finds out about Ragnarok, that his home world is destroyed. And, at first he's really sad, obviously that in the end his planet is destroyed, but that gives him an idea. And eventually they kind of come to the conclusion that Loki is hiding in apocalypses, because technically, even, no matter what you do, obviously wherever you are is going to get destroyed, so it doesn't matter in the timeline. So he goes to talk to Mobius, and he's like, okay, that's kind of smart. And then Mobius and him kind of sit down and have a heart-to-heart about really just what their purpose is. And it kind of got really dark, because Loki keeps asking, like, okay, well, what happens after that? And he's like, oh, nothing. When they're gonna keep writing until the end of time and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, it's getting dark here. But, eventually they kind of like figure out that the best place is to check like for specific apocalypses that, I guess Loki would go that wouldn't affect anything. At first they weren't sure about this, so they actually had to test it out themselves, and they choose to go to Pompeii. I know, like, Loki mentioned to go to Ragnarok, and I would have loved to go, him to go in there and see his reaction. But hey, we went to Pompeii, and he kind of like just, instead of hiding, he went out into the open and kind of exposed himself, and he said all this stuff. He told the truth, and in the end, it looks like it didn't affect anything, because again, everybody there is gonna die. So, nobody finds out about the TVA and everything. So obviously, it proves the theory that you can hide in an apocalypse to avoid a time anomaly. So again, then they come back and they make a group, to go. I think it's like Earth 2042 or something, just to capture Loki. That's like where he's going. And obviously then we have, everybody kind of split up, and then the evil Loki appears and starts shape shifting, but eventually it becomes, Loki versus Loki, and then they keep fighting. I know. I don't know if Loki's not supposed to use his powers, but he's getting freed up pretty easily. He's just getting tossed around, whatever. Like Loki, you think you're a threat, but if you keep getting yourself beat up by, I know it's yourself, but all you're doing is just pushing each other around. So anyways, then, eventually they figure out what's going on, but it's too late. The evil Loki has been setting kind of like charges and, to reset time all around the store where they're at. And he teleports them to different points in time and explodes, and then a whole bunch of different places throughout the timeline are being erased, so it's kind of like you're bombing the timeline, and it's creating a whole bunch of Nexus events, and then it's like, oh man, what is it going to do? And then Loki, the real Loki, reveals himself, and oh no, Loki's hot. We learned that Loki is actually Lady Loki. Don't know much about this character, don't know if it's just actually Loki shape-shifting into a girl, or if this is just a female Loki from an alternate timeline. But obviously, with everything that's happening, this could potentially break the timeline, which could definitely leading to Spider-Man, to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I guess you would say, or it could also lead into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Honestly, I guess all of these beginning shows that we're getting are definitely connected, because technically, even Falcon and the Winter Soldier can be included in that, but obviously WandaVision, Spider-Man, maybe even Loki, and obviously Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange. It looks like they're all going to tie in as the next Phase 4 for Marvel. But in the end, it looks like Loki betrays the TVA again. Don't know if it's for something else he's planning, but, hopefully it's something, towards good, right? I hope he doesn't betray the TVA, but at the end, we don't know if the TVA is evil or not, so hey, who knows? Overall, it was a very good episode. I'm really upset that I have to wait a whole week for the next one. But hey, I'll definitely be here for my reaction to that. So definitely make sure you leave a like, subscribe so you don't miss out on anything else that I upload. And until next time, bye. What are you doing here, little boy?